Good dang morning, Americans. Sorry, I was doing my Jericho Green impression. Um, First off, I can watch a conservative show on YouTube and not be conservative. And I'll watch a YouTube video from a left side of the aisle. There's a little hair on the screen there. So anyway, to get past that, I feel like I had to state that. I feel like, oh, this guy's just a conservative and blah, 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 I'm turning it off. No. I'm independent. Depending on depends on the issue. I'm not tied to this whole stuck on one whole side of the aisle, just because I don't know, agree with the right on one issue doesn't mean I agree with the right on every issue. Same with the left. I've been called freaking things they call the right. I've been called the things they call the left. Libertard. I don't even want to say what they call people on the right because that's ridiculous. Anyway, let me get to where I wanted to go with the show. Alright, so what I've decided from now on until I change my mind, which could be tomorrow, I'll do like 5 to 10 minute shows every night before bed, close to before bed, sometime between 10 and 2, probably 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, and and pretty much just say whatever I feel like talking about. It could be something that has nothing to do with nobody, or it could be something that's affecting the whole world. I could be talked about how I have a hangnail, or how my hair looks terrible, and how I'm going to get it cut, shaved, or I could talk about Corona, because that's pretty much affecting everyone in the world, right? I just said Corona, or I think I'm good if you say Corona, because I could mean the beer. But if you say COVID, I think that then my channel's my video's in trouble. Oh wait, it's not monetized anyway, because I don't have enough subscribers. And you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. When I first started doing YouTube, I was starting to make like change. Like in a month. Oh look, 10 cents. Oh, I'm pushing $1. Oh, I've made $1 and I'm close to $2 now. And then ISIS, and then you're like, what? ISIS? Yeah. When they started putting terrible videos on YouTube, and I mean terrible as in the actions they're doing on the thing, they're just not like poor quality. I don't know, I haven't seen them, but I know what happened to get this. YouTube pretty much made it to where you had to have 4,000 minutes of view time and 10,000 or 1,000 subscribers. Maybe it was 10,000. I forget. I think it's just 1,000 before you could monetize anything. That way, if anyone rolls out a new YouTube channel to put terrible stuff on, like murdering people, the sponsors wouldn't look bad. So they did that for the sponsors, and what that did, that hurt up and coming YouTubers, especially ones who could use the motivation of, look, I'm making a little bit of money, even more and more. I could throw that change at something. Though I think you had to make $100 before you even get a check, but it's there. But yeah, and I think now you have to have, more watch hours. I don't know, it doesn't matter because it's going to be a minute before I get there. Unless you share, like, and subscribe. Especially share. And watch this whole video because apparently watch time's a big deal now. Oh well. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I have a list of them in my head, is Lovecraft Country. So I started watching that last week. Saw episode 1, just got done watching episode 2, and I saw there was a companion podcast called Lovecraft Country Radio. Lovecraft Country Radio. Tongue twister. At first when I saw the title, I thought it was maybe like country station, based off the songs in the show. because it's actually got a kind of diverse soundtrack. Stuff from the time the show takes place, and then like modern stuff, and then some stuff I'm like, is that an old song that had just been remade, but not remade recently? Just it's a It's an old song, which is a remake of an even older song. Man, the back of my throat itches. Been itching me for a while. Anywho, so when I realized it wasn't it wasn't a music thing, it was a podcast. I was like, oh, it's a companion piece. You know, you watch the show and you watch the podcast to go along with it. I used to do that with what's the show called? Based off Stephen King. It's on Hulu. I saw the first season. I started to watch the second season, and then they did, like right from the beginning, there was a Salem's Lot, Castle Rock, that's the name of the show. There was a Salem's Lot reference. I was like, it's been a while since I've seen Salem's Lot. Let me go watch that. And then I just haven't been able to watch it. There's just like 3 of them now, I think. I mean, there's so many versions you can watch. Anywho, moving on. So we get to Lovecraft Country, the podcast, and there was a 15-minute episode. All the other episodes are like close to an hour. 15-minute episode, and kind of talks about what the podcast will be once the show starts. So I start watching that, and oh my gosh. One of the 2 people in the podcast I cannot stand. One is great. Fantastic. No problem with him. The other one, holy crap. I wish, just anyone. So I can't watch it. I'll just do what I do to Hulu. I'll find someone on YouTube who talks about the show. Probably do a better job picking up the references, Lovecraft references, and any other references of interest in the show. So I'll find that. I'll just watch that, and it probably won't be 50 minutes. But yeah, if they would have got, I'm not going to name which one it is because I don't want to call anyone out, but yeah. So anyway, I was thinking about doing a podcast for that, but I don't feel like I know enough Lovecraft as much as a fan of his work as I am from what I have read and heard and played. If you played Call of Cthulhu, the video game. And I lost my train of thought there. I was going to do, I don't know enough about it to really pick out references and talk about it. And then other people, then I'd probably also open myself up to someone criticizing me for not, picking up the enough racial undertones. Because the show is very much about racism back in that time period. It's right after World War I. So 1920s. So it's about 100 years ago, a little bit less. But yeah, I opened myself up to being criticized for not picking out enough, talking about that aspect of the show. And, they'll blame my whiteness, and I don't want to get into that argument with anyone. Only got a minute and 15, so I'm not even getting that subject. So, yeah. Anyway, basically, this is kind of how the show's going to work for a while. It's good, kind of like a wrap-up of one day. It'd be good to, you wake up in the morning, hey, it's Christian Machkalupi show. I'll watch that 10 minutes when I'm putting my makeup on or eating breakfast. Something did come to my mind today. And maybe I'll make a longer video of this. Is the things, the little things that might make a difference in us today that we don't do like we did back in the day. Some we. But I'll get into that later. There's only 30 seconds left in the show. But it's little things. People don't wake up, a lot of people don't wake up early so everyone can have breakfast. It's all let me wake up last second and get through everything last second and get out the door and not have a decent breakfast. Because you think about what people eat now on the run versus back in the day, at least TV teaches us, where it's breakfast on a plate and it's a meal. But, yeah, it's about 10 minutes, so subscribe, turn notification, peace!